Tonight, a tow truck driver killed along the 401.
Vehicle who failed to remain at the scene of the collision.
The truck police are now looking for in a tragic reminder.
Unfortunately, this is a devastating reality of why the slow down and move over law exists.
About Ontario's highway laws. Education review.
It will consider how well teachers are being prepared and supported. It will examine where the students have the tools they need to succeed in the classroom.
The test results that have the minister hinting more changes are coming.
It frustrated me and made me quite upset.
And his latest take on the future of trustees. Looking for a light rail refund.
We need to not be paying in the future for service that we don't have. Until this track's running through Cambridge, we should not be paying.
The Cambridge councillor who says his city's been getting overcharged for regional transit. Good evening. We begin with a highway tragedy along the 401 this morning that's underscoring Ontario's laws about moving over for emergency vehicles. A tow truck driver from Kitchener was killed when he was hit by a vehicle that didn't stop as he was outside helping someone. CTV's Colton Weens was out at the scene a little earlier today. Colton, we're talking about the westbound 401 near Oxford Road 3. Late today, police also put out a photo of a tractor-trailer they're trying to track down.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. They're calling that truck a vehicle of interest. It's the latest clue in an investigation that began when a tow truck driver was struck and killed early this morning while he was helping someone else on the highway. The scene of a fatal hit and run. Emergency responders called to the westbound lanes of the 401 near Oxford Road 3 just after 7 Wednesday morning, where police say a tow truck driver was killed.
The individual was a tow truck operator that was assisting a stranded motorist on the side of the road when they were struck and killed by an unknown vehicle.
The tow truck operator, a 42-year-old man from Kitchener, was pronounced dead at the scene.
To all family members and friends that are affected by this tragedy, I just wanted to extend my deepest and sincerest condolences. You're in our thoughts.
The vehicle that hit the tow truck driver drove off. The OPP later identified a vehicle of interest described as a blue-colored tractor and trailer with a black tarp on top. They're trying to find and speak with the driver. As the investigation unfolded, the westbound lanes were closed between Cedar Creek Road and Oxford Road 29, forcing traffic into a detour for several hours. The highway was reopened around 1 in the afternoon. In Ontario, it is law that motorists must slow down and move over if it's safe to do so when passing a tow truck with flashing amber lights. If a lane change is not possible, drivers must slow down significantly.
Unfortunately, this is a devastating reality of why the slow down and move over law exists. The slow down and move over law is not one or the other, it's both.
Canada's national charity dedicated to injury prevention says if you can't move over, slowing down even a little makes a major difference in a crash.
If a person is hit by a car going 80 kilometers an hour, they have a 90% risk of being killed in that collision. Whereas even slowing down to going 60 kilometers an hour reduces that death risk to 50%.
As police look into this tragedy, they're appealing to the public for any tips that might help.
If you're traveling in this area between Cedar Creek Road and Oxford Road 29, either east or westbound this morning between 7 and 7:30, and you saw something that may have caught your eye, you saw a damaged vehicle, you saw the collision or shortly what occurred afterwards or even before, we urge you to contact the Oxford OPP.
Now, police say it's too early in the investigation to talk about charges. Fines for not moving or slowing down for emergency vehicles can be $2,000 and 3 demerit points for a first offense, while a driver who causes a death could face jail time. Tony.
Okay, Colton Weens with that tragedy on the 401 this morning. Colton, thank you. New data indicates Ontario is the epicenter of winter collisions in Canada. Tech and fleet management company Samsara analyzed commercial driving data from 2022 to 2025. It showed Ontario's winter crash rates climb nearly 150% in the lead up to Christmas. In southern Ontario, the most crashes in the winter happen on the Burlington Skyway and where highways 401, 403, and 410 meet in Mississauga. And speaking of winter weather, it's time for our first check on the forecast as we head over to Leanne Evans in studio now. Boy, the last 24 hours have really been a reminder about the incoming cold. It was -15 when we left the station last night.
I believe it because the overnight low was -16, so just 1 degree cooler than when you left. Of course, that came around 2 o'clock, but I saw you got your winter tires on the other day.
Finally.
Okay, I'm so glad because the snow is coming. More snow is on the way. And of course, with that cold snap, we're noticing some slick conditions. Of course, some freezing conditions out there when we noticed yesterday. We saw the sunshine, the snow melt, and of course, with those overnight lows, freezing conditions. So currently, -3 in Waterloo region through London as well, -4 in Windsor right now. We're actually not really seeing much active weather out there locally right this moment, but we do have the chance to see some flurries and some areas, especially north of Waterloo region, could see a little bit of heavier snowfall. We're already noticing some snow squall watches coming into place. It's a system that's moving in from northern Ontario right now. So some lake effect bands, of course, over the next couple of days. Localized blowing snow as well. We're noticing the wind speeds really picking up here in Waterloo region as well. So we're going to keep an eye on that and break everything down. And the timing coming up a little bit later in the full forecast. Tony.
All right, Leanne, thank you very much. The Ford government has released the delayed results of EQAO testing, and it's now launching an advisory body to examine the results. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has more.
It frustrated me and made me quite upset.
The Minister of Education displeased with the EQAO results he held back for study. He doesn't feel progress in reading, writing, and math is coming fast enough.
Half of grade 6 students and 42% of grade 9 students are not meeting the provincial standard in math.
In response, the government's setting up a 2-person advisory panel to dig into student learning.
The review will look at whether our curriculum and learning resources are clear and easy to use. It will consider how well teachers are being prepared and supported. It will examine whether students have the tools they need to succeed in the classroom.
And look at what kind of testing makes sense. The people doing that work will be named in the new year. Their pay, $1,500 a day.
I think he should be focusing on what some say the $1,500 a year that students are being shorted individually in our education system.
The opposition says the changes needed to help kids succeed are no secret.
We need smaller class sizes. We need more teachers. We need more educational assistants, not less.
The president of EQAO is open to talking, but
what we don't need is other outside experts, again, trying to tell teachers as if they aren't professionals with experience what should be happening in their classroom.
Public elementary teachers want to do away with EQAO, a test their union says hasn't lived up to its goal.
Which was to close achievement gaps identified through the tests, where funds are directed to communities and to locations where extra supports are needed.
Calandra had planned to make a decision on whether or not to do away with trustees by the end of this year. Now he says no announcement will be made until 2026. He's still reviewing constitutional requirements for education in the Catholic and French systems.
But nothing has changed my mind right now that trustees are in any way the best way to deliver a $43 billion educational system.
At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Embattled Ontario Labour Minister David Piccini got a hero's welcome in Toronto at the Empire Club today. He spoke to a lunchtime gathering of prominent Canadians and business leaders. Even in front of a friendly audience, Piccini couldn't escape the controversy over the Skills Development Fund. CTV's John Woodward reports.
A standing ovation for David Piccini as he entered the ballroom for a speech at the Empire Club of Canada, a lunchtime speaking series for prominent Canadians that started over a century ago.
Our government is setting up our workforce for success for years to come.
Only blocks away, his party's management of the $2.5 billion Skills Development Fund being slammed in the legislature.
This premier used to be a fierce opponent of the government gravy train. Remember that? And now he's conducting it. You know, toot toot, all aboard.
The kind of criticism that's gone on for months in a fund tied to an adult entertainment club and a dental practice claiming to treat the Ford family.
Let me deal with the elephant in the room.
That from Joseph Mancinelli, the leader of LIUNA, a union that benefited to the tune of tens of millions from the fund and sponsored the event.
Words like corruption are words that should never be spoken in the legislature, and quite frankly, those who are speaking those are the corrupt people that are ruining this province.
One Empire Club board member is listed as a partner in Rubicon, a lobbying firm. An analysis by CTV News found had represented clients that got upwards of $80 million in Skills Development Fund grants. She told us in a message she wasn't involved in this event, and the Empire Club said in a statement, programming decisions are made by staff within established governance processes. Safeguarding the integrity of our platform is a core responsibility. Pacini was asked about the Skills Development Fund.
Can you tell us a little bit about that decision process and what you're seeing that maybe we're not seeing in the media and the public?
Yeah, and I think this really stems, first off, I want to say, I have never skirted ministerial accountability. I am accountable as minister for the decisions that we make as a government.
Calls for accountability also coming from some on the right, including the New Blue Party.
Spending taxpayer money on basically corporate welfare, which is what they've done with the Skill Development Fund. It's hard for the general public to wrap their head around that because it goes against everything they've been taught from their parents and their grandparents of what the PC party is.
Jim Carajalio says this audience should wake up, but today they are applauding. John Woodward, CTV News.
From clothes to food, tools, and generators, a shipping container was loaded with relief supplies destined for people affected by the hurricane that hit Jamaica. And according to the people who collected those supplies last night, the shipping container was stolen. They're hoping the public can help them get the donations back. CTV's Raheem Ladani reports.
We actually was packing from here.
Michael Bennett and other volunteers have been gathering donations to send to Jamaica after the country was devastated by Hurricane Melissa. But when they came to their storage facility to load a 20-foot truck this morning, everything was gone.
For someone just to take it like that, it's hard to deal with that.
Bennett says he was shown security footage captured by the company Public Storage in Mississauga.
This is the lock that was cut.
He says it shows a flat truck break through a locked gate, back up to this blue trailer where the barrels and crates of goods were stored. The truck was loaded up before driving away, all around 5 in the morning.
It doesn't matter about the stuff and all that thing. The food is more important than even some of the other stuff that's there. You know what I mean? What are they going to do with it here? Absolutely nothing, man. Absolutely nothing.
Among the stolen items were nearly 24 barrels and crates, which had been filled with food, clothing, and generators. Donations meant to help those who are recovering from the deadly hurricane.
In 3 weeks, we collect over, I would say maybe $300,000 to $400,000 worth of stuff. That is food, equipment, tools, everything you could name it to go build back houses and feed the people.
Peel police confirmed they came to the storage facility just east of Derry Road and Goreway Drive and say it appears a theft occurred overnight. While the volunteers now work with police in their investigation, they remain strong, vowing not to quit.
They ain't gonna shake us. I think we're gonna do better.
Promising to gather donations again so Jamaica gets the help it needs.
Toy Mountain time once again as we work with the Salvation Army to make sure that every child has something this Christmas. Let's head out to our lobby here at CTV and check in with Leanne Evans and find out who's joining us tonight to add to that mountain, Leanne.
Yeah, Tony, tonight we have the Waterloo Ringette Association here with us in studio. It's been great to see so many groups coming out and joining us here at our CTV studios. Coach Emma is here with us. It's great to have you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Tell me about how the campaign's been so far this year.
This year we did 3 to 4 sessions to get everyone to help donate toys, and we have over 200 toys here today to donate.
Wow, and we will be adding that to the mountain a little bit later on. Thankfully, we have all this muscle to help us out, adding those toys to the mountain. You guys have a very special reason why you do this campaign, and it's been going on for a number of years now. Can you tell me about it?
Unfortunately, back in 2008, we lost a player to brain cancer. Her name was Allison Posma, and her dream was to have everyone have a dream at Christmas and everyone to have a toy. And so we continue that through Waterloo Ringette to help donate toys to children in need.
And what do you think it means for the kids to get to learn about that?
being able to know that not everyone has what they have, and being able to show that they can donate it to other children in need is really great.
Okay, I want to ask some of the players too. What do you think it feels like, and what does it mean to you to be able to give back to kids in the community at this time of year?
I think it feels great because those kids don't have what we have here, and I want to give those kids what we have today.
Amazing. And how about you?
I feel great that we're giving toys out to kids in need.
Well, you guys are doing an amazing job, and we're going to add those toys to the mountain a little bit later on. Thank you guys for being with us. And Tony, we will see this donation play out later in the newscast.
We're looking forward to it. Leanne, thank you so much. Coming up, a municipal councillor now charged with making threats. New developments in a case out of Durham region, just east of Toronto, involving a voicemail, claims about artificial intelligence, and accusations of toxic politics.
I'm Heather Center, and a Cambridge City Councillor says his city deserves a light rail refund. He says taxpayers have been paying for regional transit for years, even though the LRT doesn't service Cambridge yet. That story is just ahead.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
A Cambridge councillor says his city's been getting overcharged for regional transit and deserves a refund. Adam Cooper says it all has to do with the light rail system, which has only operated in Waterloo and Kitchener since 2019. CTV's Heather Center joins us now with more. Heather, how much of a reimbursement is Councillor Cooper talking about?
Councillor Adam Cooper claims Cambridge taxpayers have paid about $60 million over the last 6 years, Tony, and a regional councillor has asked staff to get a detailed figure.
Cambridge City Councillor Adam Cooper says Cambridge taxpayers are bleeding money into a system they don't benefit from, light rail transit.
This was a mistake that was made back in 2019, and it needs to be corrected before it goes any further.
In 2019, the LRT launched in the region, serving the cities of Kitchener and Waterloo, with a promise that Cambridge would get it too eventually.
Townships don't get the service, they don't pay. We haven't got the service, but we are paying.
Councillor Cooper says it's about time taxpayers are made whole again.
We need to not be paying in the future for service that we don't have. Until this track's running through Cambridge, we should not be paying.
He claims taxpayers have been forking up millions for the last 6 years.
The number that's passed around is approximately 60 million to this point.
Former Cambridge Mayor and current regional councillor Doug Craig says he's waiting for official numbers from the region about how much Cambridge taxpayers have been paying for the LRT. He put the request in at a budget committee meeting Wednesday morning.
The inquiries have gone in. The community has certainly spoken about this and wants to know what the numbers are. And once we get that information, then we can make decisions on whether we should proceed continually making Cambridge pay or wait until Cambridge actually gets the LRT.
Cooper suggests residents be reimbursed.
A reduction in our tax levy, because 51% of Cambridge taxpayers' money goes to the region, and maybe for a few years we can get some relief on that.
He says his constituents don't deserve to pay more than they should.
I mean, we're living in a cost of living crisis, high rent prices, high mortgage prices, high food prices, stagnant wages.
Mayor Jan Liggett was not available for comment. CTV News also reached out to the region of Waterloo. A spokesperson for the region did not provide a direct answer about taxpayers in Cambridge, but noted that Regional Council has recently approved moving forward with Stage 2 LRT to Cambridge, and said updates and dialogue will continue at Regional Council and in the community as the project progresses.
Regional Councillor Doug Craig says regional staff are expected to come back to Council with those figures on how much Cambridge taxpayers have been paying by the next budget meeting in a few weeks. Meantime, Councillor Cooper says another city councillor is likely bringing a motion to Council on this soon. Tony.
Okay, we'll see where that conversation goes. Heather, thank you. CTV's Heather Center joining us live. Police have charged a small-town Ontario politician with uttering death threats after she was allegedly caught up in a lie. Clarington councillor Corinna Trail originally claimed a menacing voicemail against a future mayoral candidate was an AI fake. CTV's Adrian Gobriel files this report from Clarington.
It's an eye-opening story that CTV News has been covering for months. A local councillor here in Clarington, Ontario, just east of Toronto, Corinna Trail, has been charged with uttering threats. Former police officer Tom Dingwall has been eyeing a run to become the mayor of Clarington. In August, he received a disturbing voicemail, allegedly from Councillor Trail. He claims the woman's voice warned him to stay out of next year's election, or else she would come to his house and kill him and sexually assault his wife. The voice also said that Dingwall should support a rival candidate. Dingwall says he received a second voicemail, allegedly from Trail, apologizing for her initial message. However, when the allegations came to light, Councillor Trail publicly claimed that portions of the voicemail were her voice, but other parts were artificially generated with AI.
This threat was an attempt at election interference and an attempt to keep me from running in next year's mayoral election. There's no room for violence or threats of violence in politics. It cannot be overstated the impact that this incident had on my family and in particular my wife.
Each of the voicemails were shared with police, which have led to the current charges. We've reached out to Councillor Trail. We're still awaiting a response. Needless to say, this story is the talk of the town. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Clarington, Ontario.
All right, we take you live outside now to one of the amazing traditions we have in the lead up to Christmas every year in Waterloo Region. This is the Wonders of Winter in Waterloo Park. It went on this past weekend. It's a nightly light display. You can take a walk through the park every night from 5 until 10:30 from now until January 3rd. Just a beautiful, beautiful display. And also coming up, preparing for the potential of flight disruptions just ahead of the holidays. Unionized pilots at Air Transat vote in favor of a strike. And later, want a pro baseball team? There's one up for sale in Guelph. That story still ahead. Okay, Leanne is with us for our extended forecast, and I have to tell you, I was caught a little off guard last night. It was only supposed to go down to -11, and then we got more than we bargained for with our overnight low last night. We took a real dip into the deep freeze category.
You know, we've been talking about that polar vortex that's moving across the country. Well, we finally got our turn for it last night, and it came with full throttle.
It sure did, and like you said, it was perfect timing for me with my winter tires.
Oh, yeah.
Being on yesterday. I was glad to finally have that out of the way because we've been hit early and often this year.
Yeah, I'm glad you got those on because especially with all that sunshine we saw yesterday, the snow melt, the freeze overnight, it was black ice out there this morning when I was walking. And hey, if you're going for a walk tonight, this live look from Waterloo Park where the Wonders of Winter are on display, and it is a beautiful spot to walk through with the dog, with the family, with the kids. All the lights are up. One of the best traditions, I believe Tony said it was, of the holiday season. Just absolutely gorgeous, but you need to bundle up if you are heading out there tonight because it's still quite chilly. Even though temperatures have risen from last night, we're still feeling the cold. Today in Waterloo Region, we reached a high of -2, so that is slightly below seasonal for this time of year, but this is the number that we were talking about, that -16 that came in the overnight hours around 2 o'clock in the morning last night. So if you're an early riser or if you were working overnight, you probably noticed those cool conditions. That is well below seasonal for this time of year. Usually we're at around -6 right now. Current conditions, -3 in Waterloo Region, but with that wind chill, it is feeling slightly cooler than that. Many communities hovering around that freezing mark as well. It's -1 through the GTA, -3 through London, -4 in Windsor, and -1 along the shores of Lake Huron. Now, overnight tonight, dropping to a low of -9, so not quite as cold as what we saw last night. However, it will feel feel like minus 18 when we factor in that wind chill. We do have a chance to see some flurries. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the forecast here, but around 2 to 4 centimeters localized. Not necessarily something that's going to stick, but something that we should be aware of. Minus 8 will be the daytime high tomorrow. When we're waking up, it will feel closer to minus 18. And a little bit later through the day, once we reach that daytime high, this will feel closer to about minus 12. And again, a chance for some active conditions. That's why we're seeing some snowfall watches already in place right now. This is that system that's coming in from northern Ontario. If you're north of Waterloo Region through Mount Forest, even into Listowel, Elmira, St. Jacobs, you're under that snow squall watch. So we could see some blowing snow, of course, and some lake effect snow coming off the north shores of Lake Huron. This is kind of how it's looking as we get into the overnight hours tonight. So that swath is quite widespread, and the deeper purple colors is where we're going to see heavier amounts of snow and some localized bands of snow as well. That lake effect snow that's coming off of Lake Huron as well. So into Thursday morning too, we could still see some scattered flurries across the region and across southwestern Ontario. That'll be the case throughout the day tomorrow too. By the time we get to Friday, mostly just some cloud cover to make way for some more snowfall into the weekend as well. So Saturday, that's where we see the chance to see some more active weather through the day. Minus 1 will be the daytime high, minus 8 the overnight low. Notice that overnight low on Sunday too, minus 16. It will be quite chilly here to end off the weekend. In the Windsor area, plenty of sunshine for you folks if you're joining us from there. But conditions, again, quite cool through the overnight hours. And in southern Georgian Bay, we are going to see plenty of snowfall over the coming days. So be ready for it. Hopefully you like winter activities because you'll be able to get out and do a lot of that on the weekend. Okay, let's see tonight's Weather Watcher picture. This is from David, who sent this in from the Saginaw Parkway in Cambridge this morning. Beautiful sunrise. Love all the colors. I need to start getting up earlier to see these winter sunrises. Absolutely stunning. David, thank you so much for being tonight's Weather Watcher.
We're going to welcome another donation for Toy Mountain now, so let's head over to Leanne at the mountain with a special guest. Leanne, that mountain's been growing steadily, but it's going to make a big jump tonight.
Yes, we had to do a little bit of rearranging here over the past couple of days to make way for another donation because we are with the Waterloo Ringette Association tonight. Coach Emma is here with us. We have lots of players who will be coming in, helping fill the mountain. So before we get chatting, I'm going to get them to start bringing the toys in right now because I know you guys have about, is it 200 toys today?
Around 200, yeah.
So tell me about how you collected all these items.
Waterloo Ringette does power skating, and throughout a bunch of our games, we did a bunch of donations and put on our Instagram page when we were donating. And then it's all the families through Waterloo Ringette who help donate all these toys.
Amazing. And you do this, there's a special reason behind everything and why you do this and for how many years you've been doing it in honor of a player who passed away. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, Allison Posma, she unfortunately passed away due to brain cancer, and her dream was to have a dream that every toy goes to a kid who needs toys.
What do you think that really teaches the kids about, especially, you know, you're carrying on her legacy in that way?
It helps, well, the kids here today, they know that every kid needs a toy and that everyone deserves a toy. And it just shows other teams that are helping donate to our cause that it's going towards a good cause. And it lets all Waterloo Ringette know that our toys are going to good need.
What are some of the things that you've heard from the players throughout this campaign? What have they kind of said about this?
The players love it. I think being on the news too also helps bring joy to it, but they also love all the toys that they are collecting, and they like to say, oh, I love this toy, so they know that it's going to a kid just like them.
I feel like I've been learning a lot about what are the cool toys of the season.
Yes.
Have they taught you a thing or two?
Some, yeah, definitely some.
Yeah. Okay, so what have kind of the families and parents of the kids been saying about this and what it means to them?
They think it's a great getting their kids involved and helping the community, and then just all the coaches who have helped get their teams to donate toys. All the parents have been really supportive in helping us get all these toys for kids.
Okay, fantastic. And as you can see, we're still bringing all these toys in. We've still got tons of toys to go, and we're going to continue to do that. This is week 2, I believe, of our campaign here in studio. So this mountain is only going to continue to grow from here. Of course, we're building it until our finale night on December 17th. So Emma, we want to thank you and the Waterloo Ringette Association for helping build this toy mountain. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Leanne, thank you. And up next, a consumer group calling for action to take the pressure off customers to tip more.
It's time to build a toy mountain.
Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new, unwrapped toys to your local Canadian Tire.
All in support of the Salvation Army. We'll be collecting donations from November 19th to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community.
Toy Mountain, supported by the Core Group, Goman's Appliances, and the Crack Specialists.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever.
Visit ctvkitchener.ca for more ways to donate.
Canadians planning to fly over the holidays may want to pay extra attention to this next story. 99% of unionized Air Transat pilots have voted to strike, and the flight cancellations could start soon. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
In exactly 1 week's time, Air Transat could be forced to start grounding flights, as its roughly 700 unionized pilots will be in a position to strike.
A December strike will be catastrophic because capacity is already saturated. Other airlines like Air Canada and WestJet are flying full plane for the holidays.
The threat during the busiest travel time of the year comes nearly a year after talks between the union and airline began. The pilots want pay raises and better job security and say they're tired of working under a contract signed 10 years ago. In a statement, the union says, "Let us be clear, we do not want to strike. However, after nearly a year of slow bargaining and little progress, we urge management to utilize the remaining time and negotiate seriously to avoid operational and flight disruptions."
If anyone knows labor negotiations, I do, and I know that there's a pattern here, and we obviously hope they get a deal.
The airline is confident a deal can be found, saying in a statement, "Although this is a common step in the collective bargaining process and does not mean that a strike will be initiated, we remain fully committed at the bargaining table and aim to reach a tentative agreement without labor dispute." Aviation analysts say the prospect of a Christmas slowdown puts pressure on a company already facing financial troubles.
I don't think Transat's in a position right now of being able to accept a financially disruptive situation like a strike, so they will settle.
Air Transat says its operations are currently running as normal. Either side must give 72 hours notice of a strike or a lockout. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Ashley Bacon is in studio with us tonight, pardon me, with a look at our top stories. Ashley, welcome. Let's get right to our recaps now. A tragedy on the 401 this morning, the latest on a fatal hit and run.
That's right, Tony. Police say a 42-year-old Kitchener man was hit just after 7 a.m. Police releasing these images of a vehicle of interest in the case. It's described as a commercial motor vehicle with a blue-colored tractor trailer and a black tarp on top. The highway was closed for several hours, but has since reopened. Police are asking anyone with dash cam footage of that area to contact them. A Cambridge councillor says taxpayers in his city deserve a refund of the money they've been putting into light rail transit. Adam Cooper has penned a letter to the region. He says his city has been getting overcharged for the system that's only been operating in Waterloo and Kitchener for 6 years now. Regional councillor Doug Craig says regional staff are expected to come back to council with figures on how much Cambridge taxpayers have been paying by the next budget meeting in a few weeks.
And Ashley, online, our digital team has a story about a theft investigation, which involves details about a cattle prod as well.
I know this is a bit strange, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, Guelph police say a man is facing a number of charges. The incident happened last night in the area of Speedville Avenue East. Officers say a man was accused by another person of stealing drugs. That's when the cattle prod was produced. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on your CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Ashley Bacon in studio. Ashley, thank you very much. A new survey out of Quebec suggests customers are becoming more frustrated with the constant pressure to tip more. Well, now a consumer advocacy group is calling for tighter controls when it comes to gratuities. CTV's Matt Gilmore reports.
It's a custom Canadians are used to, leaving 15 to 20% at bars, restaurants, and for delivery drivers. But in recent years, consumers have noticed the expectation to tip is expanding.
Once in a while, I'll encounter a place that has tipping that you're not really expecting it, like a dry cleaner, something like that. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of paying for the service. Why do I need to tip on top of it?
Consumer advocacy group Option Consommateur found tips are now being solicited at all types of businesses.
Des boulangeries, des chocolateries, des commerces de détail, des professionnels, des mécaniciens.
Lawyer Alexandre Plourde says a recent survey suggests Quebecers are growing frustrated and don't like the tactics sometimes being used to squeeze more out of customers.
When you go to pay, it's already set up for certain percentages, and it kind of makes it a bit weird if you don't tap on it.
They have 15% good. You ever seen that one? 18 better and, really good. They're giving a value to the tip. That's a tough one too,
In May, Quebec banned that sort of practice. And now tips have to be calculated based on pre-tax totals. Plourde calls that a good first step.
Et on propose aussi d'encadrer les types de commerçants qui peuvent solliciter du pourboire.
He wants to limit the types of businesses that can ask for tips. And he says a 15% option should be mandatory.
Ce qui correspond à la norme sociale.
For people who rely on tips, like Jess Gagne, it's a tricky subject.
Tipping culture, what sucks about it, really, is that the workers are just not getting paid a fair wage. And then it falls back on the consumer.
She says it puts everyone in a tough spot.
It should be like a nice extra thing, whereas it kind of feels like an obligation right now.
But not everybody feels the pressure.
I mean, I feel like I've never been forced to tip, so it's fine.
And none of the people we spoke to today want the servers to pay the price. But for many, it feels like tipping culture has gone too far. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
If you've ever felt like stepping up to the plate and getting into sports management, there may be an opportunity. Coming up, CTV's Jeff Pickle takes a closer look at the effort to sell a Guelph pro baseball team.
Holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
If you've ever dreamed of owning a professional baseball team, this could be your chance. The Guelph Royals are up for sale. Asking price, a cool $750,000. This as the Intercounty Baseball League turns from elite amateur to fully professional. CTV's Jeff Pickle has more.
In early December, it's not exactly a field of dreams. But someone's dream of sports team ownership could come true as the Guelph Royals hit the market.
Probably 10 inquiries. 6 or 7, I think, are serious inquiries.
A team with well over a century of baseball history and have been a staple of the Intercounty Baseball League for decades.
So they're buying legacy. For a business owner, it gives you all sorts of opportunities to brand your business and connect your business to a local organization.
In charge of the sale is local real estate broker David Schooley. He's also part owner of the KW Titans basketball team and Kitchener Panthers baseball team that plays in the same league.
My position, I don't really look at it as trying to sell a rival team. Whatever happens there is going to be great for the league.
The price tag, $750,000, a number Schooley believes will attract attention.
The cost of entry is reachable for many individuals and groups or businesses where they can come in and put their own stamp on a professional sports team.
The sale comes as the IBL goes from elite amateur to the fully professional Canadian Baseball League.
Which means you're going to see fewer college level and junior level players and more
more players who their day job is playing baseball.
With a salary cap of $120,000 per team per season, teams will now be forced to draw in bigger crowds.
Just because the league says you can spend $120,000 a season on a team doesn't give the teams $120,000 to spend.
Schooley says the next owners will need to be committed to the fan experience.
If they want to be successful, 100%, yes.
The first pitch of the new CBL isn't until May. Until then, Schooley will be working the phone looking for a buyer. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Guelph.
And next, a special night at the Kitchener Rangers game. It took nearly 2 periods, but the Rangers found the back of the net late in the second to kick off the 30th annual Teddy Bear Toss. CTV's Karis Mapp was there for the moment that's going to go a long way in the community.
It was raining stuffed animals at the Odd Tuesday evening after the Rangers' first goal of the game for the 30th annual Teddy Bear Toss.
They're extravagant every time. I love them so much, especially seeing all the bears fly all over the place.
Fans brought teddies of all shapes and sizes for the charitable tradition.
Watching all of the teddy bears kind of cascade over the sides, I think it's really neat, and just the community coming together and really giving and sharing.
The more the merrier. You know, we were going to come with 2. We thought maybe a few extras, just share the love a little more.
It may have taken longer than some had hoped, but the Rangers' second period goal was worth the wait.
Rangers get it back for Pridham, shot, score! And let the sweet Hartley mayhem commence as Jack Pridham has the 2025 Kitchener Rangers Teddy Bear Toss goal. It's plush pandemonium in Kitchener.
We caught up with Pridham after the big moment.
It was awesome. Got the puck down low and put it on net. Great screen by Humps, and it's great to see it go in. It's obviously for a great cause to see all the fans bring their bears. It's awesome.
That great cause will see the bears distributed to those needing them most in the community.
They'll go to local charities and organizations and also some local schools throughout the community from Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. I think it just shows it's not only the organization, but the fans are involved in the community, and it has such a big community outreach just to give back in such a unique way with throwing teddy bears on the ice.
With Tuesday's packed arena, organizers were hoping for similar numbers as last year.
Last year we were around 10,000. We are hoping for the same tonight.
And they got just shy of that, with the final Teddy tally coming in at 9,989. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
And Leanne, I've got to tell you, it's a good thing those were stuffed animals we were talking about, because Karis was right in the line of fire with her camera as she captured it. It was a great vantage point, but we were talking last night, she and I, about how it was quite something to stand there from that viewpoint.
I know. I saw her walk down there and I thought, wow, she's going to be right in line with those teddy bears. Anyway, a teddy bear would be nice to snuggle with tonight because it's quite cold out there. And some areas, especially north of Waterloo region, under that snow squall watch tonight as we're set to see more active weather move in. We'll have your wake up weather next. We've got a lineup for you tonight, starting things off with Shifting Gears, followed by Georgie and Mandy back-to-back episodes. And you can end things off with The Amazing Race tonight on CTV.
Tonight, a legendary Canadian children's entertainer with a powerful message.
The current times that we live in stress us out.
What inspired Raffi to lend his voice to the political arena?
Democracy.
Later on CTV National News and live on Crave.
Alan's making fun of me over there.
Is he? What's he saying?
Were you watching The Late Show last night?
You know that's past my bedtime.
It's past your bedtime. I got caught coming back from a break singing along with the Bounce Radio promo.
I love that. And that does not surprise me one bit.
Ashley, you want to guess what song it was?
Oh, no.
Stevie Nicks, Edge of 17.
Well, I think the viewers will expect another one tonight, Tony. But
all right,
you'll have to maybe sing along to some square dancing, because from the big stage to back home, a local line dancing team has made a big impression, returning from Indiana victorious at the World Dance Showdown. CTV's Karis Mapp is meeting up with the group right now, and we'll have more on their win and what's next at 11:30. Tony.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate that. Just like a white wind.
Oh, that promo.
Sings a song that keeps on singing. Yeah, I got
Stevie Nicks
caught.
on vinyl.
And I... ooh. It was the ooh that I got caught on. I was expecting a jib shot back from the break. Anyway, none of this is of interest to you. I
you know
realize
what?
that.
If you're up late, you got to have a little fun,
We
too.
have to sometimes.
Yes, you do.
Got to add some levity to the moment. Especially now that we're full on into winter weather and we're finding all that snow outside and that cold every night.
You got to sing, you got to dance, you got to have a little bit of joy, you know,
That's
because
right.
it's cold. And guess what? More snowfall on the way as well as we take a look at what's in store for tomorrow morning. Waking up early, you know what? We might actually get to see a little bit of sunshine, so that will be nice. Chance of flurries through the early morning hours, mix of sun and cloud, and that chance of flurries, of course, persisting. We're watching those lake effect bands move in off the shores of Lake Huron, so it's kind of one of those things where it just depends where you're tuning in from, what community you're in, because we know it can be one way in Waterloo and another way in Brantford. It's not that far apart.
Yeah, I felt like I drove back in time when I went over to Scarborough on the weekend because there was no snow on the ground 20 minutes outside of Waterloo region. But
it's crazy.
This is the time of year, so we are.
Mother Nature.
It is Mother Nature. We're keeping an eye on that, and we're also keeping an eye on our Toy Mountain. Let's take another look before we go because Leanne, Waterloo Ringette really helping us to bolster our donations tonight.
Yes, of course. We know this is all in support of the Salvation Army, helping families have a beautiful Christmas this holiday season. And the Waterloo Ringette Association certainly helped build that mountain. I think we're going to have to rearrange again tomorrow because, yeah, they brought about 200 toys in, and it's a great thing that they did.
Beautiful. And speaking of, you and I are going to be volunteering tomorrow morning.
Yes, we are. We're going to be finding out where all those toys end up and sorting them.
We'll have more on that tomorrow night. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.